All right, we're on. Hello, Sarah. How you going?
Okay. Hi, Mackenzie. How are you? It's been a long time.
It's been a while. Yeah, I'm very well. I'm
Yeah.
very well. How are you going? What's been
Uh,
happening?
yep. So right now, there's a lot of things happening in my life. I'm actually interning in Kpmg, in management consulting, and I'm also actually still finishing my last semester. But it's like half load, so it's still kind of okay. Although I won't really advise people to actually take internship with school together, but you managed to do it too. And I actually building a small online business like in like food, something like that. So it's
Wow.
also growing that. And yeah, also doing my pageant because I did it's like a Miss Tourism Indonesia. So yeah, basically some photo shoots and video shoots for the campaigns and etc. So yeah. Oh,
Wow.
I'm also still the doing the solo chapter thing, the one that I told you, the nonprofit. Oh,
Wow. Super
yeah.
busy doing everything.
Right.
That's amazing. Well, thank you so much for taking the time. I think this is going to be very, very valuable for students and graduates. Whoever wants to watch this video, I think they'll really enjoy it. And we've
Yeah.
been getting a lot of good feedback so far. So I think you'll be an amazing addition to the video series. So
Nice.
so just to give everyone a bit of a background, so this is Sarah, as she mentioned. She's currently interning at KPMG in the consulting division. She's been there for, I think, a little while now, a month or so, a bit over a month.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so Sarah is at the University of Melbourne, I think, in her last year. And she joined Grad Jobs a little while ago. So we've worked with each other a little bit through that. So we looked at a range of different things with regards to landing jobs. So things like building a vision, market research, selling yourself, relationship building, interviewing, LinkedIn, blah, 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 all that sort of stuff. And so in this interview, what would be awesome or an awesome outcome would be to go through a few key questions, essentially go through your story. Why did you
Yeah.
choose to study in Melbourne? Why did you choose to study that degree? How did you get some of your amazing experiences so far? And then some advice to potential viewers. So I'll just get started. So take it back to before you started studying at the University of Melbourne. Um, why did you pick that university, and why did you pick your specific degree?
Okay, so it's actually a the rationale was really simple because I'm going to Australia and it's like, okay, I'll just take the best university for business and it's UniMel. But actually at first I was a science student, so I was a chemistry student for one semester, and then I transferred to business because I took finance as my bread subject and I actually like it. So yeah, not really much of wise. It's just like really a straightforward thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then I enjoy the accounting as well. So I'm taking finance and accounting. And maybe a little about how I started the grad jobs, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, we
because
can
it
go
was
into
in the
that.
past.
Yeah.
Yeah, because last year was pandemic, and so basically I went for an exchange to University of Southern California in Marshall Business School. It's in LA. But because of the borders, so I cannot come back to Australia and I have to go back to Indonesia, which is my home country. And it was like lockdown and everything was online. I was really frustrated. Actually, I was coming from a very frustrated situation because like everything was like really nice, and then suddenly it was like a big change of the life.
Mm.
And I was looking for something. What should I do? And it's also my like last year, and then last year, and you need to do something. You need to start thinking about what you should do next. And I found this grad jobs, and I met you, and it was, I think it's a really amazing program, and I have to say it's a really life-changing program. Like really, my character phenomenal. Seriously. Yeah, so basically
Thanks.
I met, and sorry, and he's, yeah, the program is very useful because like you mentioned before, like I think 1 or 2 weeks of getting to the program, I got an internship. But actually the internship is like not the internship like I want, which is consulting. But as you actually maybe join the program, as he always encouraged, it's fine to be somewhere else and then still looking for your dream job where it is, but you don't have to like get it at the first, right? So yeah, so I just did it for like 9 months, and then together with my pageant. And right now, after all my pageant and got my resume better and all got my better skills and everything, and then I got the internship in Kpmg. Yeah, so basically that's a brief story about that.
Amazing, amazing. And so before I really want to dive into how you actually got the position at KPMG. But before we jump into that, I've got here some notes. So solar chapter, a not-for-profit, one thing, the
Yeah,
finance intern and then finance manager, I think, position, research assistant position, credit
yeah,
analyst, and you
yeah.
worked in retail as well. So that's a lot of different things that you've been keeping busy with. Are there any in particular that you'd like to share with the people viewing this, or should we just go through each one really briefly because it's really interesting?
Yep. So basically, I did a lot of stuff before, and but the timeline was different. Like at first, I was like in retail when I was in Melbourne, and doing the credit analyst was before I was going to the US, and the internship and solar chapter together. But what I want to actually share to people is that it really doesn't matter where you start. You can like always explore things because you never know like the skills that you will gain from that, like the experience. If you cannot go straight to the from A to B, you can like start doing like other things first. That is really like what you always say is like the lowest fruit hanging, right? So yeah, that's why I just took all the like the opportunities that could basically still align with my dream, of course. But like those are like the small steps that makes me where I am today. So yeah, I think that's the important part about that.
Awesome, awesome. And so let me just quickly go through a couple of those just to because it's really nice to go through the high level and give advice, but I think when people get a practical understanding of how you achieved it on a really detailed level, they can get a lot of value out of this. So they can almost replicate this outcome. So just as an example, so you had I think a retail job. So did you
Yeah.
apply for this? Did you get a referral for this? How did you land this job?
Okay, so for the first one, first one is I actually applied for it, and then the second one is I actually got a referral, and then for the credit analyst is I was a referral as well. That's why it's really important to have like a connection. And then the fourth internship also a referral, and actually yeah, the KPMG one is actually pure from the submission.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. When you say about it, there's a lot from referrals actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if
Yeah.
with the ones, so I think it may be the finance role and the credit analyst role, say, I think you got referrals for those. How did that happen? Was that just the right place, the right time, or did you do something to make that happen?
For the credit analyst, basically, I was just asking everyone around if there's like an opportunity for internship because I only got like 2 months in between, so it's not a good timing as well to like apply for jobs and everything. So I'm just like asking around if there's like an opportunity. And then for the finance intern was actually also like a family friend. So yeah, it's something that it's like the opportunity that came to me actually for the finance one because it was the pandemic and it was kind of hard to get a job, right? Yeah.
Awesome. So the first one, because you already had those connections built up, people who knew your family, etc.
Yeah.
You were able to actually get people coming to you. And for the second one, you thought, well, I've got all these connections. You actually identified there's this 2-month gap and I'd love to do an internship here. Let me go out and ask people what I can do to help them. And you get the finance position, and then obviously impress them quite a lot, and then got promoted to finance manager as well, I think. Awesome. And so what about Solar Chapter? What's that all about?
Solar Chapter is actually a student-led nonprofit organization. It's basically we're helping villages in East Indonesia to get clean water access. So it's like a student platform. It's actually based in the US, but I'm actually initiated the ones in Australia. Awesome. And it becomes an organization, student platform for people, Indonesian students in Melbourne, to actually give back to the community. And it also opens a lot of opportunity and doors for me in terms of connections, in terms of my platform, because like what I also said, that I'm doing pageant, and it also boosts like about the branding stuff and my advocacy, something that I'm also share to people. So yeah, that's also really, really something that I'm really grateful that I did that as well. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very impressive to look at on the resume as well. So did you think about when you got that, was that an opportunity that came to you, or was it something you sought? Did you go out and think, what can I do to volunteer? What can I do to help? How did that happen?
So the founders was like my friends in the US, and I really love about the cause and everything they do. It was really, really, they just also just started, and now we have like almost 8 branches around the world.
Wow.
So yeah, basically I actually approached them and I asked for a meeting, and I actually do something fundraise for them to show that I'm committed and stuff. Basically, yeah, I'm the one that reached out to them that I want to do this as well, and I want to join you guys as well. Yeah. And maybe this is something that might be helpful as well. Doing like those volunteers in like my interview in Kpmg, they really appreciate it. And it's like the story, because like you're not only doing all the academic stuff only, and it shows your leadership skills. I mean, yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, no, that's great. Any tips you've got throughout, I think people really love it. So again, that's an example of where you kind of had a bit of a network from friends. So you'd already kind of made these friends, and they had this thing going, and you approached them, took advantage of that, and showed or gave value to them to prove to them you're, worthwhile to be part of the team. And you did that by actually acquiring funds for them, which is, it's solving one of their biggest problems, right? Their biggest problem is getting funding, and you're helping them to get funding. So that was you initiating that, making it happen through the network. So again, another kind of network-based opportunity, which has clearly impressed Kpmg, for example, where you currently are. So I think that's, with regards to your previous experience, I think that gives people some tangible action items and ways to think about how they can replicate that. Are there any more, apart from what you've already mentioned, any more tips you'd say with regards to getting those initial bits of experience, etc.?
Okay, so one action items especially from the program that I really do it is approaching cold emails from LinkedIn. Yeah, because actually, although the ones in Kpmg, I didn't use through the LinkedIn, but like some other, I built a lot of connection as well with people that is I think the ones that I say that I'm a chip industry. So like now I'm trying to use that and to build connections with people, because like I think LinkedIn is very powerful, and also I think it also helps me in KPMG as well, because like my LinkedIn looks nice thanks to your program. And yeah, I think talking to people and like all the templates that you gave is really really helpful, because maybe previously I'm not the type of person that could be confident or could feel like, oh, it's this right to do to actually approach people and say hi, I have this and etc. But really that what makes me get the opportunity that is going around right now, even though like let's say it's not about the KPMG, it's like it's just like one thing, but my other things in life, there's a lot of that I actually get it because of those approaching attitude, the all the templates, how we actually approach it is really really important. So yeah, the building connections through that is also really through LinkedIn. I think that's one tip. And also the thing is, I still remember that we need to like list all the strength and weakness and our goals, what we want to do, and it's also really helpful for the interviews, because like it makes it easier to actually recall all the good things about us, to marketing ourselves and sell ourselves basically. So yeah, those are the exercises that I do and I implement it in my everyday life. I also meet, like even in my first day, I meet like a manager from like other division that I actually don't know that he's a manager and stuff, and we build connection, and actually right now he's trying to take me to that team. So yeah, this is really those things, like when you apply it actually to every single aspect of your life, all the theories and all the programs, is actually really really powerful. Yeah.
Wow, amazing tips. It seems like one thing that's really added value for you is,
Yeah.
and you were already doing this to an extent as well, is reaching out to people to ask for something and get kind of take the things that you're looking for, as opposed to waiting for them to come to you, but having that some sort of approach to do that and feeling confident. And you seem to have just taken it to the next level and applied it to a whole range of different things.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right. So moving into the next question. So with KPMG, the first question is, why did you want to work at a firm like KPMG in consulting, in that type of capacity? And then also we'll move on to how you approached it and the story behind, how you got the success. Was it, for example, was it just putting a resume and getting an interview and getting an offer, or was there a bit of a twist to it?
All right. So first is why I want to work in a consulting in Big Four, because I'm actually quite liking about consulting, because I took the class when I was in US, and it's quite interesting for me. And all the skills are very important, and I believe that I would grow so much in that industry. And why Big Four? Because I mean, everyone wants to go there. It will be good on your resume, but yeah, I'm just some straightforward person. Like, yeah, that not really much about it, but how the story I actually got into KPMG is actually really, it's quite funny though, because I actually put my resume for a vacancy on marketing research something, and I just emailed the resume, and then it was a full-time job. So but suddenly I got a call that from the KSA, which is from the consulting, and they were just like, oh, I think your resume looks good for consulting, do you want to actually try consulting? I was like, hell yes. Because actually I want to, there is a vacancy on market research, so I just do it. Just, oh, there's opportunities, just taking my foot in the door, put it first, right? All the theories, I just apply it in my real life. So yeah, after that, because they know I haven't graduated, so they actually put me in the internship role. But before that, I actually have a call with one of the HR team. And this is where all the building network also being applied, because we have to say it's like, please consider me for an internship role, because like I'm not eligible for the for the full-time role. And with that, I maintained a relationship with the HR. We exchanged the LinkedIn and just basically also ask her some questions to have the connection going, so I will be on her top of her mind when there's an internship role opens in the consulting. So yeah, actually after that I kind of forget about it, but after 1 month, she contacted me and like, we have are you open for an interview still for the internship role? And yeah, and then it's just actually one interview for I get no case study interview, I get no test at all, just like one interview with like the manager.
Yeah.
And it's basically more to what I've been doing, the experience throughout my career, and then yeah, basic, and then offer. So sometimes I think people tend to like think, oh, I need to really excel, but the technical skills, all the case study, yes, there's those things that are really important. Even one thing, I never submit my grades at all until now. So yeah, basically, it's just really show that the most important things like the networking, the soft skills, and the building the and stuff. Yeah, so really that's it.
That's awesome. And so what about, so the application online, that took a bit of time from what I remember, the resume and answering the questions, etc. Do you have anything to mention about those? What was your process for that? Did you invest a lot of time, or how did you approach it?
For those questions, I just took like an okay time, because to be really honest, really, really, really honest, like I don't think they really see that those through that answers to like meant to determine which one or which. But I'm not really sure about that, because like I didn't get accepted through that to that line. So I didn't really invested more of it. But it's really, I really put more heavier studying and practicing on my interview, because really it's how we sell ourselves, and they really want to see if we could actually work together and stuff. So yeah.
And did you ever get feedback at all on the resume, or did you not hear about it at all?
Actually, that's a good one. I will do it. I forgot. No, I haven't.
Yeah, so they didn't mention it when you, because for sometimes when you submit a resume or a cover letter, they'll, in the interview, they'll kind of have it in front of them, or they'll mention something on your resume and talk about it. But did they even look at it?
Yeah.
They did.
Yes, yes. So basically, the interview was actually they having my resume, and they let me to actually explain what I do, what my experience is, what's your biggest challenge when you're working here, what are the skills that you get. So yeah, basically the resume is really, really important.
Awesome. So it was quite a critical component of the interview. They went through it in detail.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, so a lot of relationship building, it seems, was it was core to your success, showing your value.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
That's
all right.
true.
And we already talked a little bit about why you joined Grad Jobs. I think you mentioned that it was the COVID lockdown period, and you wanted to kind of get some sort of support through that period. Were there any other reasons you joined Grad Jobs? And other than the reasons you've already mentioned, is there any sort of, or what was the most value, what was the thing that added most value to you through that program?
Okay, so maybe first, other than COVID, I see that this grad job program is unique. Firstly, because I also look at other programs and they're more like focusing straight to your CV, to your resume, to your cover letter, and where I think I don't think that's the reason why people don't get like the dream jobs. That's why I think this one is unique and I think I should give it a shot. And after a call with you, I think you're really you're very friendly, you're very helpful. So yeah, that's why I think I also get to the grad jobs one. And because you also go through like the modules, and the modules is also something, I think something different also. And which is like actually I okay, I'm not like sugarcoating this or everything, but I think you're a visionary. Like all the things, like the programs you do, like the self, the self formation in the morning, and how to actually do great things in one area will actually lead to great things in other area. Those things are actually really, it's happening right now. Because maybe at first I don't understand like why we should actually do this, because I don't think it's going to get me a dream job that I want. Actually, those things, those little things that actually builds up to where to get to where today. So yeah, I'm very that the program itself is amazing. And yeah, it's also the values that actually added to me in how you actually do great things in small things that will add up to like other things, and the work ethic, the how you believe in yourself, how your mindset. It's not only applicable to your job only, but also when you meet people and even other subjects of your life, which is my pageantry, is also really helps me to get the position where I get today as well. So yeah, those actually the values that are not able to be quantified, but actually the key of success. So yeah, those are the value that I take it, and it's really amazing from that program.
Thank you.
Is that answering the question?
Yeah, no, that definitely answers the question. It's funny because people say different things, but it seems like for you that mindset component, really working on, who you are, where you want to be, and some of those tips and tricks to kind of strengthening that and moving towards where you want to go. Because I remember when we talked, it was a little while ago. It was probably maybe September. It was a while ago.
Yeah.
And from memory, in our first call, you said, I want to work in consulting at a Big Four, from memory. And you've kind of made that vision. You really knew you were going to get there, and you used all those little tips and tricks to make it happen, which is pretty amazing, really. So it's interesting to hear that's what you found most valuable.
And it's like more self-visualizing as well, because sometimes, yeah, like what I said, like you might not get to where you want to be straight away. Sometimes there's a process as long as you don't lose focus, as long as you still hold that vision. The dream job is like, although you're doing other job, but you still hold to that dream job and to your dreams.
Yeah, that's awesome. And it seems like you still firmly had that vision, even when you were working in those other jobs, going along that process, and eventually everything almost conspired to make it happen.
Yeah.
Which is
magically.
It's magic, isn't it? It's crazy. Yeah. It's awesome. So I'll look forward to your next vision. Do you have any thoughts about that? Where do you see yourself now? Because you've already, you've got that consulting piece done, and you could go into full-time consulting, and you don't have to talk about that here. But have you thought about the next, few years, 5 years? Where do you see yourself?
Yep. So a bit of sharing here. I want to actually pursue my master degree. Still not sure when, but yeah, hopefully my dream university, next one. And I will also do another pageant competition, hopefully maybe in like several years. Let's see about that. But yeah, those are the next vision that I have for several years in front of me. And obviously enjoying my time as a consultant.
Awesome. So is the plans to go into potentially full-time or something similar, maybe? You don't have to say. You don't have to say. All right. Awesome. Well, I think I've got one more question. Do you want to ask one more question? Actually, make it two. Two more questions. Small ones.
Yeah.
So the first one, the penultimate question, how is working in the field compared to, what you thought it would be like?
Right. Actually, is it's quite the same as like what I would imagine, but the difference is like when I actually started, it's really like learning from zero again, because like the industry, the fields is really depending on the client. So we as consultant, we need to like be adaptive and keep on learning and learning and learning. So that's what makes it very interesting. So it actually could be a good thing or a bad thing for you, because like it could be a good thing if you're willing to learn new things, if you're eager to actually start from zero. But sometimes like the bad thing is like it kind of discourage you, because you feel like you're dumb, because what is this, like I don't understand it. Right. And I actually joined in the middle of the project, so I have to catch up, and I have to actually also understand about the industry as well, and actually understand like how all this consulting thing works. So yeah, those are the good and bad things. Really depends on how you see it. But if you love challenges, definitely you will love this consulting role.
Amazing.
It's full of surprises.
Yeah, that's funny. It is, isn't it? It's
You are consultant, you know best about that.
oh, I wouldn't say that, but yeah, I know where you're coming from. You just constantly have to be on your toes and learn. It's about learning quickly, isn't it? Just learning a bit quicker than other people.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. And so the last question is to anyone watching this. Maybe they're probably a student or a graduate, probably, and they might be, where you were 1 year ago, 2 years ago, 6 months ago. So if you had to give them any advice to top off this meeting, what would it be? What would the best, juiciest bit of advice be? Or you can have multiple if you want.
Okay. Firstly, I'm not paid by Mackenzie to say this, but keep doing the program. Really, really, really. This is me. Being really, because you never know where the opportunity could come from. You never know when it will come to you, and you will never know from who you will get those opportunity. And if you keep on like just being disciplined, doing all the small things that it feels like why I should do that, or maybe things that you don't really understand why you how it will take you anywhere, keep on doing that, because actually those things will increment, and finally when the time was right and the opportunity is there, you will get where you actually want, because that's what actually is really coming from my experience. Although I was doing all your program for my other, also together, like I also applied for another job other than Kpmg. Yeah, basically I got that offer so when I'm actually doing your program. Seriously, I'm not lying. Because I actually contacted you right before that, like about the documents and stuff. So that's your advice. Keep doing the program and just be consistent and disciplined. Really, you don't know opportunity come from. Just keep pushing and keep believing in yourself.
Amazing. And if people do feel at some point, you know, they've been believing in themselves, they've been pushing for so long, and they just haven't quite seen the result yet, what would you say to them?
I know how it feels too. It doesn't feel good, but it's okay to take a rest sometimes. If you're like you haven't get where you want right now, you can stop for a while, but don't give up. Still, the advice will be the same, to keep pushing, and have fun with the process, because maybe sometimes other opportunity come to you, and then maybe something that you want is not the best for you as well, and then you can like have other great opportunities that actually actually the best for you. For my case, maybe what I want is aligned with what I got, but sometimes you might be more flexible with what you want as well. You could be open your mind and see maybe other opportunities are also good for you. So yeah, basically being flexible, I think, is also another advice from me. And yeah, and have fun. Meet new people is really fun. From
Amazing.
being scared, meeting new people, like fun, you know. I still remember your words as well. You said that like from you were scared and then now you're like happy to meet new people.
It's funny, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
it's like you get that bit of practice doing it, and then you realize that it's not so bad, and that it's actually not only does it feel good, but it helps you to grow so much, and you just start kind of just enjoying it. It's so interesting, isn't it?
yeah, yeah, that's totally right.
Awesome. All right. Well, if that's everything, we can probably call it a day. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate you taking the time. And I think people are going to find this very valuable. So thank you. And thank you for being such an amazing student. And well done. I can't wait to see where you will go, and how you enjoy the Kpmg work.
Awesome. The honor is mine. Thank you so much, Mackenzie, for, again, I'm not paid to say this, but like the program is really phenomenal and it's life changing. So yeah, just keep doing it.
Far too kind, but thank you. I appreciate that. It's very nice of you. All right. Well, thank you very much, Sarah. Have a lovely evening, and I will check in soon. Keep in touch. Let me know how you're going.
Definitely.
Awesome. See you later.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.